viewers. It says that we're live, actually.
0 people are watching. You're like, oh my God. It's always like the worst. All right. Click send now, broadcast sent. And there's always this setup that you have to deal with.
Well, I don't even know how you do it. Do
I've
all
got
this setup.
I have 2 screens right now. I think I'm just gonna get 3. Like there's just so many windows and they all have to be like big and massive. Because otherwise you miss stuff. Like BeLive, like they got caught in like the bot ban, I think, like the API set and all that stuff. So
Mhm.
you can't ever see if somebody's making a comment. You can only see that a comment was made, like you don't know who it's assigned to and stuff. So you end up like shooting blind sometimes, but whatever.
Yeah, Facebook is going through a lot of changes. Even the new GDPR rules are out. So even in my ClickFunnels pages, I'm adding like cookies and we might pixel you, et cetera, et cetera.
I just assumed that ClickFunnels would do like that for us. Is that not true?
No, if
Oh,
they are going to do it, it's not rolled out yet.
oh, okay. Well, that'll be like a big box of frustration. It's like I just figured out how to do this, and now they're changing it all over again.
Yeah, and now Facebook is going into dating, which is interesting.
I'm super psyched about that, to be honest. I feel like they could do a better job than Tinder, which I think is like a shitty company as a whole. But
Yeah,
whatever.
Tinder is just for hookups. But Tinder uses the Facebook data to actually they're based off of Facebook data.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, that's probably why they're beating crap out of Tinder because they're cutting them off. Either way, so we're going to talk about Facebook ads now. Hey everybody, my name's Jeff. This is G Day. G Day is kicking ass and taking names. I'm super excited to have him on board. Just so you guys, in case anybody doesn't know G Day's story, I think it was like 8 months ago, right? Like we started chatting on you on your Facebook journey, right? Something like that.
Correct. It was 8 months ago.
eight
Yep.
months ago, and I remember so we both bought Dan Henry's course around the same time. Facebook ads for entrepreneurs now get clients. I still recommend it. I think it's a good start. And I think like we got on a Zoom call, and you're like, Jeff, I have my first free trial client, and it's like it's not working. I'm not getting any leads. Please help me. And so then we figured out we did some adjustments, and then you started getting leads, but then your dentist didn't want to pay you or something like that. Can you like go over that story a bit?
Bro, I was so usually what the model they teach in the program is that do a free trial for a couple of days and then switch over to paid. I was doing a free trial for this guy for 3 months. That is the longest free trial I've ever made and done in my life. So I didn't know what to do. Like seriously, I was like panicking. It was my only client, and I paid money to get him. So yeah, the ads weren't working. I wasn't getting him great leads, and then he was only paying for ads, like $500 for ads. So it was just a crazy 3 month period for me where I was trying to wonder when is this free trial going to finally be over.
When am I supposed to be rich? Is it now or in like 3 months? I don't understand.
Bro, like 3 months free trial is crazy.
I've always hated free trials because, I mean, there's like a whole video I have about like free trials and why I hate them. But like I remember we were going over your ad set, and for anybody watching that's just starting on their journey, I think like the big mistake that we make is that we'll do those age and gender split tests. And I remember you showed me, didn't you have like 18 different combinations of like you had like zip code and then men 18 to 29 and then like women 30 to 39 a different zip code, like shit like that, right?
Yeah, I had about 12. So it was men 18 to 25, women 18 to 25, men 25 to 35, women 25 to 35. I was like, it was a lot.
And then I heard like a crying baby in the background. Like you were like lurching over your laptop, like, oh my God, I can't figure this out. But then we changed it up so it was just like a general like location, right? Just like everybody's you started getting like leads, or is this still like a non-starter?
No, we started getting leads and better leads after that. So the leads for him actually exploded after that. I went from like a 10% conversion rate to a 25. I think the main issue is that I was spending so little on every ad set because I had so much, it just wasn't feeding out. So when I put all of them together and had a bigger budget, I was able to get the more reach, and then of course then conversions exploded after that.
But you were still stuck on a free trial. Like you couldn't like make it happen, right?
Yeah, so about month 3, I just get to a point where I was like, okay, now I'm getting him leads. I spoke to Jeff about a month before that, so I'm getting him good leads. What's going on? Like, why am I not, making the money I'm supposed to be? Free trial's supposed to be over. So I just get to a point where I was like, listen, I'm doing free work anyways. The worst that can happen is I lose him as a client, and then I don't have the free work.
Right.
I don't have the work to do anyway. So I just said, listen, I shot him an email. I'm like, hey, it's been nice to work with you and serve you. We got you 30 leads last month. This is where we are. You either pay me $750 or we're done.
Right. Like, you're like, that's it. We're finished unless you pay me money.
Yeah, exactly. And then he said, okay, buddy, help me out. $750 starting next month. He paid me a day and a half later, and that was my first paycheck.
That's so cool. Like, do you think that, so like looking back, do you think the biggest mistake that you were making was like you didn't take the sales approach to your Facebook ads? Like you were too into Facebook ads when you should be worrying more about like selling the result of Facebook ads? Like, was that a big change? Because I remember like all of a sudden you got them to pay $750 and then you got them to pay $1,000. And then you just started nailing client after client after client, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I think the mistake that I make and a lot of agency owners make is that you're scared that you won't get results for your clients. And because of that, you're not confident in yourself and your skills. And then you don't pitch the price that you want to pitch. Because most people, their Facebook experience comes from YouTube and maybe a 15-year-old Udemy course. No, I'm so serious.
That's so true.
I'm so serious. I ask people all the time, like, so how'd you learn about Facebook? Oh, I took a 15. Udemy is running a commercial right now on YouTube about learning about Facebook ads to go to their website and buy it for $15.
Yeah.
And then people think they're pros. And you have so much more knowledge in that. You have to be confident that even if you don't have the answers, you have a collective group of people around you that can help you. Jeff being one of them that can show you like, hey, this is how you can better get results for your client. This is what you can do. And I'm telling you, your confidence will really determine how much you can price your client at. What I tell people, focus more on the sales, the Facebook ad side will come.
Isn't that the weirdest part? Like, I know like the way your brain works is you think you need a product first and then you'll figure out how to sell it. But it's like success with Facebook ads is really like the other way around. Like you don't have to be a Facebook ads expert to sell Facebook ads expertly. Like the knowledge is out there. You can figure it out. And I think you went through that transition pretty effectively. Like you spent 90 days inside of Ads Manager hoping that a certain combinations of dials and dashboards would give you money. And then one day you hit a breaking point. You're like, all right, either you pay me or out. And all of a sudden they paid you. And then you took my onboarding docs, right? And then what happened after that?
I landed a 2K client like the next week. And funny enough, I actually, and this to me, this is one of the things that made me make the switch because I wasn't still as confident in my services. So I spoke to a realtor. I said, we have a lower package for $1,000 where you get kind of the basic buyer campaign kind of thing. And I said, but we have a premium package that ranges anywhere from 2 to 3K where you get full services, text and email. And I had a follow-up call and I said, so yeah, you're ready to get started on the basic package? They said, no, we want the premium. I said, what?
What? You want to give me more money? What?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, hey, not a problem. Please give me your credit card information.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So did you find that like, when you first talked to the dentist, you were like, hey, I want to do Facebook ads, free trial, let's give it a try. But with the real estate agent, you're like, we're going to do these onboarding docs, figure out a problem, and then present you an option to solve it. Like all of a sudden, somebody paid you up front without regard to whether or not you have a result in their industry, right?
Correct.
And it was mostly because of the expert stance and the sales stance and the onboard docs you took with them, right?
Correct. So the great thing about your onboard doc, I don't know whether you shared it with your group or not, is that when you ask them a list, a list of 25 questions, and those questions let them relate to the prospect that you, number one, you understand their business. Number two, you're trying to understand how you can get them results. And it provides a certain level of safety, I find, so that when you do pitch your price and you talk about a premium package, for example, you're believable.
Yeah.
You know, they believe that you can get them results. So when you believe in your services and you use kind of those onboarding docs, for example, and you ask them questions about their business, it really gives you a good place where you can say, hey, I'm going to pitch you a 2K price up front with no case studies or whatever, and you're going to pay.
And then they go, okay. And you're like, oh my God. So you start off at zero, like, Jeff, I can't figure this shit out. Like my ads are not working. I've got a free trial that I'm essentially paying for. And then one day you said, screw it, I'm gonna ask for money, and then they paid you. And then you got a 2K client, and skip forward 8 months later, and now you're doing like $7,000 up front, and people are paying you, right?
Yeah, no, upfront, definitely. So one thing I tell people is that the distance between where you are and where you want to be a lot of times is investing in yourself.
Yep.
So I told Jeff about this. I invested in a program with Cat Howell called the Academy. And when I invested in it, I got more sales training. And what I realized through the whole program, especially on the sales side, is that if you have a process that works and you believe in your service, then what you're selling doesn't necessarily matter as much, because at the end of the day, if you're the best Facebook person in the world, nobody will ever know that unless you're able to communicate that value.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to communicate your value upfront to somebody else, and then be able to see that value enough to pay upfront for it.
So for anybody watching this right now, like, I don't think you understand how powerful G-Day is mentioning. Like, very rarely is the result of your work and getting paid for your work the result of your expertise with Facebook ads. Like, you can spend a lifetime trying to master Facebook ads. You can get a PhD in ads manager, but that does not mean you're communicating obvious and explicitly to the value of a potential customer about the work that you're doing. You have to find that right balance, or sometimes, in G-Day's point, just swing straight into the sales side and get paid massively and upfront. So G-Day has gone from free trials where he wasn't getting paid for 90 days to saying, hey, it's time to get off the pot, land at $1,000, $2,000. And that was a dentist, a real estate agent, and now you're focusing on like the e-com side or something like that? Or did you have like a transition phase between the 2K and the 7K clients?
So yeah, now I'm focusing on e-com. I tried different clients. I tried realtors as well a lot. So realtors, a lot of them are price sensitive. So when you're confident in your service, you get to decide who you want to work with. So now I actually like the e-com space. I like helping stores get sales, and they see that value up front from their Facebook ads. So yeah, I'm focusing more on e-com, and then some lead gen here or there, but mostly e-com is my niche. One thing I tell people is that, especially for those who are starting new, forget free trials. I promise you, throw it away. Even if you're brand new, if you want to practice on, a friend's account or something. When you go and talk to a customer, you need to pitch a price up front and let them know, this is what I could do for you from a strategy perspective. This is what it's going to cost to do that. And get in the practice of valuing your time and what it's going to cost you to actually deliver the work, because it's going to cost you time. And that time has an hourly rate attached to it.
And that time is spent not doing something that could make you more money, right? So like, let's say you spent 8 hours in a free trial. Well, that's 8 hours that you could have spent like getting a 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K client. And it's like, I understand why people pitch free trials, because it gets them like into the motions and things like that. But I genuinely think like free trials, it goes like this, like, and then all of a sudden you realize how bad it is. And so with like my inner circle and the stance I'm taking with like agency scaling secrets is like, skip the free trial, charge immediately, and all of a sudden like you're going like this, right? Instead of going like the natural approach was like, oh god damn it, and then like you move up. But if there's anybody watching this now, like we're gonna start like fielding some questions. G-Day is gonna go into more in depth on like the transition from $0 to you already hit 30K so far this month, right? Or you're on the way.
I'm on the way to hit 30. That's my goal. So this month in total, I've had about 18K in contracts signed and delivered. So yeah, I'm on my way there. And the thing about the free trial, and this is how I know free trials don't work. So I have a dentist on one of my first free trial, a different dentist, where I did ads for her. We spent $700 in ads, and this is one of my case studies, and I made her $13,000.
Yeah.
I made it $13,000, and I asked her to pay me $1,000 a month. Guess what she said?
She said no.
She said no.
Oh my god.
I said, what? I have measurable results, and I can literally share my screen and show you I made this lady 13 grand on $700 in ad spend, and I asked her for $1,000 a month, and she said she can't commit to that.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'm turning off your ads, and that's exactly what I did.
And then, so okay, all right. So let's explore that for a bit. So let's say somebody's just starting on their Facebook ads journey, their agency growing journey. They get some results, and they aren't charging for it, right? Are you thinking that puts you in a really bad position with your potential client? So like, if you had to go back to that dentist as an example, like you're getting ads, you're getting dollars, you're getting results. If you had charged in the beginning, would it have been easier to ask for more money later on? Or do you think that was just a bad client to start off with?
No, I think that if I charged in the beginning, it would have been more easier to ask for more money later on. And the thing about it is that you're never as convincing as when you first start out a relationship. Think about that. No matter if you give a client a great result like I did, it might never be good enough for them. I don't know what this lady is thinking. I honestly have no idea. But when you're first starting a relationship, the difference between where they want to get to and how to get there is you. Yeah. So if you can communicate that effectively, they should be able to pay you anything you deserve.
That's crazy. Like, because you start off at zero, and I don't mean you, but like as general, like free trials, like when you start at $0, it's almost impossible to go to money. Like it's really, really hard, right? But if you just said, look, I'm going to charge you $250, $500, $750 month to month, all of a sudden it's easier for them to pay you more money. Like they're already in that motion, right? So that's like super interesting. But yeah, guys, so drop some questions in there, just so in case anybody is like just tuning in. We're seeing like 43 viewers out of nowhere. G-Day and I started his Facebook ads journey 8 months ago. He went from $0 free trials to the dentist. Was generating results, couldn't break out a free trial. We figured out how to get him to $1,000 charging. Then he charged $2,000 up for a real estate agent who was happy to pay. No, 2,500, $2,000?
It was $2,000 plus $1K setup fee.
All right, so $2,000, a setup fee. I don't even charge a setup fee. Oh my God. So $2,000 plus a setup fee. And then he made the transition to e-com where he's really beginning to scale to a point where we were changing Facebook messages. And G-Day was telling me like, if he pushes himself, he genuinely believes he can do $100,000 this month, which is like mind blowing to me. Like, I mean, like, I don't know if like, if your wife like understands the transition or if your kid could ever, your baby could understand the transition, but really it's like, it's night and day. Like it is mind blowing the growth. Yeah, so we've got a couple questions. So we're gonna start like knocking through these. Slawik, gonna mispronounce that, says, how did you transition from doing lead gen with dentists to doing e-commerce? Was it that transition like easy, difficult, challenging? Did you get a mentor or a program? How did you figure out how to go from dentist lead gen to e-commerce campaigns?
Okay, so the transition happened for me when I joined the academy. So I talk about it with Jeff as well. Kat Howell has a program. She has a training program as well, FATC, where she actually teaches how to do e-com. So I joined that program, and not only did they give me kind of the Facebook expertise to learn how to do e-com, but they also helped me out with sales training and how to communicate value. So when I joined that program, they gave me the processes and I just implemented it. It took me 2 months before I got the process down, but after that, it's a roll. Like I remember I got my first, even my first 3K setup fee. I told my wife, we went out for ice cream. She was like, this is just the beginning. I don't know whether you know that time, and Dan Henry talks about it in his course, that time where you realize like, oh snap, I've stumbled into something that's gonna make me very, very wealthy.
Yep.
And just that sales training side where you can literally talk to a client and literally tell them, if you don't pay me a 10K setup fee, then you're not worth my time.
Right. So that's like the coolest part. Like, so one of the things that I'm trying to hammer home in the people that are part of the community that we're trying to build is that like your agency goes through steps and you have to let yourself go through steps. Like in the beginning, you're going to figure, oh God, I think I need to be good at Facebook ads. Okay, go through it. You understand it. I get it. Just do it. Don't spend a lot of time thinking that you have to be good at Facebook ads, but fine, think about being good at Facebook ads. But the agencies that grow and scale are the ones that are obvious and explicit about the power and the results that you can get from Facebook ads, selling the results and getting somebody to their results. So like, the dentist, did you have, before I go into that, did you have any other local lead gen clients before your e-com transition or no?
No, literally no. I went from like here to here really quickly.
That's awesome. So I'll just kind of speak it like with my example. So like specifically with local lead gen, everybody gets started with local lead gen. And when you get started with local lead gen, you think you have to be good at Facebook ads. You don't. You have to be good with leveraging those Facebook ad results. So like the dentist, she got an F ton of money. My car wash is making an F ton of money. The difference is that we started to help train our clients and our customers on how to start using those leads effectively to get the end result that they want. So if anybody is like on their Facebook ads journey, just remember like the money is not in getting really good at Facebook ads. The money is teaching clients and your customers on what to do with those Facebook leads. And that I think that's part of the transition you made. Like when you got those leads for the dentist, You're like, great, you made money, pay me. And she's like, no. You're like, all right, I'm out. And then she realized that the power of like the leads that you were generating, like making like 12 grand. And she's like, oh, obviously. But that's a whole other conversation. We've got some questions in here. Slawick, the answer to that was like G-Day transitioned from local lead gen to e-commerce by upgrading his mentality and paying for the training with Kat Hell's course. G-Day and I talked, I think I'm going to drop an F ton of money. I don't even say it on the air, like an F ton of money on the same exact course, because the only thing stopping me from growing is more appointments. And I close 50% of my appointments at $3,000 a month. So we're going to start like, I may just be following your steps, which is pretty cool. We got another question, which is, how do you handle a situation if you're charging from the first day and aren't able to deliver? So like, let's say you charge upfront $3,000. What happens if you can't get the results? Has that come up before, or what are the challenges of that?
So even the free trial dentist, that's a situation where, you know, I wanted to charge him $500 and I wasn't necessarily able to deliver upfront. The thing about it is that you have to set the expectations of the client upfront very early. So as a beginner, you're very scared that you're not going to land the client, so you overpromise. When I talk to my clients, I tell them that, listen, this $5K is an investment, and you might not even make that back in the first 3 months. It might take you 6 months to make that back. So even if you don't make the results in the first month, you now have 2 or 3 other months to get him results and get help. And if you're not charging enough for your clients, you can't hire a contractor. For example, if you're doing car wash like Jeff is, but you don't have the results, you want to hire somebody like Jeff. Jeff's not going to do it for free unless he loves you.
Not anymore. I feel like, sure, I got you. Now it's like, okay, you're going to have to pay me. But yeah, go on. Yeah,
he's going to charge you. And if you're not charging your clients enough, you don't have the power to really help them. So you see it as, hey, client, you need to give me the resources I need to kick ass for you. And that means a $7K setup fee. If you can't get that, then I don't really know how I can help you get to where you want to get to.
So what was interesting about what G-Day said was like, everyone has this fear, like, I'm going to charge them money and can't get results. But the answer is like, if you prompt those dollars correctly, you have enough time and enough money to make sure that they get results. So like what I do is I have a customer opportunity guarantee. Like I guarantee, I'm going to shout it out 100% unequivocally that they will get 30 customer opportunities within 30 days of signing for me. If they don't, I will pay their next month's ad for them. And next month's bill for them. I got that from John Loger. Like all of a sudden, Jeff as a human being is relieved, because if I fuck up, let's just say it, I've got another month. And if I fuck up again, I've got another month. So like, and your approach is saying like, no, it's going to take like 4 or 5 months to get your money back. And then if it turns out that G-Day can't do it in 30 days, he has enough money, enough time to find somebody else who can deliver it, like a general contractor. So that might answer that person's question pretty effectively. Let's see what else we got going on here. Here we go. How do you find companies that can pay $1,000 a month currently struggling with this? So like, how does a person trying to start their Facebook ads agency find clients and customers that want to pay $1,000 a month?
So there are other ways to do it. You can do a cold. When I started, I did a cold email campaign. You could do cold calls, but with the program I invested in, like I was telling Jeff, I now have companies book calls with me. So I was telling Jeff, for example, on every given day, I have 12 book calls, and I usually have to cancel about 5 or 6 of them and only take 6 calls. So I know I run ads and people book calls with me. I don't go out looking for calls.
So no joke, guy, like G-Day showed me his calendar and I was like, I was jealous. Like he's literally, the way G-Day grows and finds companies that want to pay him money is he just runs Facebook ads. We can't get into the specifics as part of like your inner circle and your mentoring and your training and what you've paid to learn. So I'm not going to ask you to share that, but like literally he just runs ads and has them schedule an appointment. And then I think you have like some qualifying questions beforehand, right?
Oh, correct. Yeah, you qualify. Like one of the questions I ask them is, are you ready to invest in your business? And if they say no, that call is canceled. Bye-bye.
Nope, not happening.
I can't even.
Why would someone even like fill out the form? Like, oh, I was just interested. I'm going to click no, I don't want to do this. You're like, all right, well, see you later. Goodbye. But, so is there taking a break from the questions and things like that, how has like running your agency transitioned and benefited your family and your friends and your life? Like 6 to 8 months ago, were you like in the dark, black hole, can't figure out a way out. Like everything is closing in. You got rent due, you got babies, like you got bills and all that. And now money isn't like an obligation. It's like a point system. Like the more value you give to your clients, the more they pay you money. Like, can you talk a little bit how your life has been transformed by like going on your Facebook ads journey and things like that?
Yeah, Facebook has been a great thing for me. Like I told you, that light switch went off in my head and said, listen, this can make me very, very wealthy. You know, to the point now that I'm actually planning other investments ahead of time because I expect to hit certain revenue goals. So it's been so crazy. Now my wife, we had a baby 1 year ago and she quit her job. So I have to find another way to kind of get that extra income. And Facebook has done that. Not with that 3-month free trial dentist, obviously not. But
yeah.
Not that guy. But now to the point where my wife is relaxed, like we're planning a trip to Nigeria. We bought our tickets. We're like, oh yeah, let's go to Nigeria. We're like, okay, yeah, buy the tickets. Before we had to plan for like a year ahead of time and really say, how are we going to pay for this? It's just been a great transition in my livelihood. Yeah. And it's really got me to the point where I don't see money as I need to make money to live. It's like, it's a point system. Let me see how much I can raise my game to provide value for my clients, but also get paid what I deserve, for it to be a win-win relationship.
And that really only comes with like that phase 2. Like imagine telling that to yourself 8 months ago, it would not have happened. Like totally different mindset. Like mindset, you're like, screw it, I'm trying to pay my bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. So like, how did you get in touch with like your first dentist client? That was a cold email and then they responded. How did you get them interested in a free trial, getting your ads manager, things like that? Was that an easy process? Or was that more like you had to send 10 cold emails and then get them on the phone and then pitch and then say free? Or how was that transition for you?
Funny enough, the first dentist, I got that through the acquisition ad. I just did an ad and say, hey guys, anybody who wants a free trial, message me. But the realtor who paid me $3,000, I did a LinkedIn email campaign.
Oh.
I had a email of like 1,000 realtors or brokers. And I said, hey, do you want 30 to 50 clients this month? And I will share my email script with Jeff if he wants to hand that out. You guys are free to use that. I don't do cold emails anymore. But it really said, I can guarantee you like 30 to 50 leads this month. Would this make sense for us to hop on a call together?
Yeah.
And of 1,000 people, 3 people booked calls. And of those 3 people, I closed 1 for the $2,000.
Beautiful. What was the let me ask you this. What was the ad for the dentist? Was it like the standard $21, like get your teeth cleaning, x-ray exam type thing? Or was there like something G-Day specific with your dentist ad that was generating like, that got the dentist $12,000?
Oh yeah, so that's a secret, but it's not really a secret, but because a lot of people use it. What I do is free teeth whitening when you get a standard cleaning and x-ray.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
Yeah, so when they get an x-ray, even though it's free to the patient, they swipe their insurance card and it's $300 for the practice. And then the patient gets that free teeth cleaning. So it's a win-win.
I think James Cluster did something like that, and he ended up getting like 700 leads in like 3 months or something like that. He also had the massive results that you're talking about. Like he ended up generating like $20,000 to $30,000 over the course of that campaign for his dentist clients. So that's kind of interesting. Like you're saying that it's like get a free teeth whitening with purchase of something, right?
Yeah, it's get a teeth free whitening with a patient exam and x-rays. And we put in the ad, most insurances pay for your because this is like a general teeth cleaning. Most insurances pay for it.
Yeah.
So basically, if you get general teeth cleaning, you get free teeth whitening. And we put a time clock on it. You have 2 weeks to do this. So that actually forces them to come in within a specified time frame.
And then all of a sudden you got your dentist $12,000. It sucks how like she was unwilling to spend money with you, but it also sucks that like you didn't know that you were supposed to charge. Like nobody gave you the tools and the tips and techniques to say, here's how you're going to charge before you get the results. And like that, I'm like slightly disappointed in like Facebook ad agency education for that. But I'm also psyched that all of a sudden, like, your transition has been like a rocket ship through the roof.
Yeah, it sucks. If I had charged her up front, she will probably be a $3,000 or $3,500 retainer client.
Of course.
So I
Immediately,
make her 12 grand.
I know.
Like, what the heck?
It's weird. Like when I started charging, uh, I started charging $1,000 and then 500 ad spend. And then I charged 2 grand. 2,900 is now my base package. And I've got 3 clients at 10K packages. The 3 10K client packages, they are happier than my $2,900 clients. Like, I don't get it. Like, the more money they
It's
spend, the happier
crazy.
they are. But yeah, so that's like a whole other thing. We've got some more questions. Today's like sharing some interesting knowledge. He went from free trial, $0, and then now he's charging 7 grand upfront for e-commerce campaigns, which is like a really cool transition, and rebuilding a better life for his kids and his family. So he's got some other questions coming up. What are the first steps when dealing with a very specific niche market, for example, like apparel and e-commerce? I know you sell Facebook ads, you don't do the fulfillment, you have like a network of subcontractors for it, but can you like shed some light on like this question right here?
Yeah, so e-commerce campaign is a lot of work to do. So the first thing you need to do is look at the metrics. Number one, you need to look at if they have any Facebook data. What is their store currently converting at? It needs to be converting at least at a 3%, their website itself. So if their website design is crappy, you're going to have a huge problem there. The other thing you need to look at is, do they have their pixels installed, whether they're collecting data through that. If they don't have that installed, you need to put that in right away. So the first 3 steps of an e-commerce campaign that I look at is, number one, their data, their website, and their price points. Usually if their average order value is less than, let's say, $35 to $50, they're not going to be able to really afford Facebook ads for their e-com store because it costs to acquire a customer.
Interesting.
Usually somewhere between $10 and $25 is going to cost you to acquire a customer. So if your store is charged $30 or something like that, and it costs you $20, let's say, to acquire that customer, you're only making $10 per sale.
So do you ever do like the strategy side and say like, here's how we're going to implement upsells and downsells and like packages and things like that? You do have that conversation, right? Do you charge for those conversations, or is that part of like your packages and things like that with your e-com clients?
So that's part of my packages, and that's why another reason why I say you have to be able to charge what you're worth. So the coach in the program, Kat Howell, that I took, and one thing that she says is that if you break down how long it takes you to launch, even a lead gen campaign, it's going to take you about 30 hours to launch a full lead gen campaign. You should be charging at least $150 an hour. So if you multiply 150 times 30 hours, and you can do that math, that's how much you should charge somebody to launch a campaign for them. If you're not charging that, you're underpricing yourself.
Oh, I should increase my prices. Oh.
You should. And that's just to cover labor. You need to have margins in your business, right? Don't you? If you run a business. So I like the sound of 50% margins. That's just me. Let's say you want to do 30, but let's say 50. You add another 50% margin to that, then your setup fee should really be around 7 or 8K.
And that's how you end up justifying to yourself in your heart the 7, 8K. And you're finding customers that pay that all the time.
Correct.
So let's see what else we got going on here. We have Simon saying G-Day is the man. Oh, there we go. G-Day is the man. There you go. That's funny. Here's like a really specific question for you. When you're optimizing an ad offer, so like I think by that they mean like, hey, we're going to give you something, give me money. Do you optimize for conversions, or do you optimize for reach, or is that like something that you just offload to one of your subcontractors?
No, so I do still run ads myself. So when I'm running ads for a lead gen, I always optimize for conversions, because what you're doing is that you want the algorithm to learn as they're going along. Reach is just saying, show this to as many people as you want to show it to. For conversions, Facebook is looking for a specific type of person. So optimize for conversions anyways, and you will get that reach. You just automatically will get it. That's
go on. No, you're
saying that. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. That's like running a campaign for likes or something. Don't run a campaign for likes. Run a campaign for conversions, and you're going to get likes along the way. It's just how it works.
Like there's a big thread in the Agency Scaling Secrets group about how you have to like season your pixel and 500 things. I'm like, that was like a year ago. Like you don't have to do that anymore. Like ad set, you can do a conversion, and then it's like link and extended, and Facebook will make that transition for you. So you start with conversions immediately right out of the gate. And I think that's what you're talking about. Like, don't do reach, just do conversions, and Facebook will figure it out. Is that correct?
Correct.
Gotcha. Here's another question. So when you speak about the price that you charge, for example, like $2,000, is that your fee plus Facebook ads? Is that included? How do you communicate that with your client, your customer? I will say that when I sell my packages for $2,900, $5,000, $10,000, and soon to be $25,000, I always include ad spend because it's an easy yes. But that may be totally different for e-com, right? So what is like your approach?
So my setup fee, whatever that amount is, whether 3,000, 5,000, or 10,000, usually covers the setup and the first month's management, but that does not include ad spend. And I tell them I recommend a minimum ad spend of like $1,000 or $2,000. So I also make them commit to ad spend.
Interesting.
So you have to pay me my 10K or whatever that price is, and you have to be willing to spend $2,000 in ad spend. And then they'll say, oh, so that's 12K. And I say, yeah, that's what it is.
And then they go, okay, here's a check.
Exactly.
It's amazing. Ask for money.
Yeah, seriously, it's really a skill, and once you learn that skill, you can really, really upgrade your lifestyle. So one thing I tell people is, when you're bringing leads to a business, there's no business without leads. So there's literally no business without what you do for them. So what are you going to charge if I'm taking you from, like that dentist, I made 12K with my skill set, and she said she's not going to pay me. I literally just brought an extra 12K to your business. If I'm charging you 6K for that, you shouldn't even bat an eye.
Yep.
Like I don't get the disconnect there with a lot of these service providers.
What's really interesting about the $12,000 with the dentist, which could be like a whole other conversation, to be honest, is like that's just in that month, right? That doesn't include the follow-up and the follow-through if done correctly. Like that $12,000 really could be 20, 30, 40, or 50 if they learn how to upsell, custom audience, lookalike audience, referral, all that fun stuff. But I like when I'm teaching my inner circle students, it's like literally like, yes, you have to charge up front. You have to figure out the results and the problems, and you're going to execute the plan. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, great. I can charge like $3,000 for this. And I go, yes. What's the difference between you being unsure about charging for your services and now? And they go, oh, now we realize that we have to like charge money, have a plan, things like that. I think the big mistake that people make with Facebook ads is to say, I'm just going to run Facebook ads. You're not just running Facebook ads. You're literally generating leads for business. You're getting them phone calls, walk-ins, and money. And all of a sudden, it's okay to charge for that. I don't know any like other business that has this conversation with their members. I don't understand, but whatever, no big deal. We've got a question here, kind of technical. How quickly do you change it from interest targeting to lookalike audiences?
How quickly do I change it from interest targeting to lookalike audiences? So I actually funnel it. I actually do a funnel side of Facebook. So I'll run one campaign for interests, another campaign for lookalike audiences, and another campaign for, let's say, retargeting. So I build a funnel, just like you have ClickFunnels and you have several steps to that. I also build a funnel inside of Facebook where the client is being hit with 3 to 4 different ads at 2 to 3 to 4 different stages of the customer experience of experiencing the business I'm advertising for, so that they're seeing a more complete picture of that. So I do both.
Oh, interesting. So like when you're running ads, you're really like doing, so are you doing those like retargeting ads, but like only showing a certain amount of times, then when they've seen the retargeting ad like 10 times, and they see like the second retargeting ad, like a sequence, I think that's what it's called, right?
Correct. So yeah, retargeting stacks. Yep.
Oh, that's fun. I like retargeting stacks. That's so much better than a sequence. We've got a comment. Do you use a pitch deck? So I'm guessing when you're on the phone with your client or your customer, are you saying, hey, let's do a Zoom call and let me tell you what I'm doing and why you should buy for it? Or is like your 7K e-com clients a totally different conversation altogether?
No, so it's literally a phone call. I don't have a pitch deck. Of course, I have like a script in front of me to help me remember stuff, but no, I don't have a pitch deck. I just have a phone call with them. I ask them about their business. I ask them what they're doing. I ask them a lot of questions about their margins and all this other stuff. Then I tell them like, hey, this is my price. This is what I charge. And don't think about it.
And then they go, okay, here's money. That's like so weird. So I think what's really interesting is, so don't you find that you have to warm up that conversation first? Like, so when I ask about margins and sales and things like that, that's like the second or third batch of questions. Do you ask those questions up front, or do you just kind of like warm it up a bit, or how do you just right out of the gate, like, hey, what are your margins? Like, what is that?
No, no, you can't do that. No, first of all, I warm up the audience. First of all, the thing that you have to realize is that even though they're clients, they're real people.
Yeah.
So I asked them, so hey, where are you from? You're from Florida? Oh, do you watch basketball?
Oh,
yeah.
The standard normal people stuff. Wow, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I talk to them like a real person. And guys, let me tell you this, get this through your heads. I'm to be a little bit more strict, guys. Stop putting clients on a pedestal because they have money. Stop doing that. You really have to. You're relating to somebody who got on the phone because they actually have already mentally agreed that they needed your service. So the only thing that happens on the phone call is you not giving them a reason to say no. So you have to get the desperation out of your, like, we call it sales breath. Just get it out of your breath and just relax and have a conversation.
Like, no joke, I think this is the best quote from the entire conversation. Like, stop giving your clients a reason to say no. They've already figured out that they've got a problem. They've already gotten on the phone with you. They're not on a pedestal. They're normal human beings. And so looking back like 8 months ago, did you put your clients on a pedestal?
Oh, I was almost begging for this sale.
Right.
Please, we can do a lot for you. Do you need anything else? I was like giving them every reason, like, and they can sense that. And when they sense that, they say, okay, this guy's a beginner. He doesn't know what he's doing. I'm not confident in his ability to deliver. But when I'm more relaxed and having a conversation with them, they know that I'm not desperate for their business. And the more you don't need their business, the more they want to give it to you, funny enough.
Isn't that weird? Like, why would they do that?
Yeah.
I don't need it, so here it is. Yeah.
It's like backwards. The thing about business is, like, it's kind of backwards. It's so freaking crazy.
It's like, as soon as I stopped, I at one point I started declining. Sorry, I can't help you today. Okay, but how about next week? No, I mean, like, I can't help you. Like, your business just can't afford my services. I'm sorry. And he's like, but I can refer a bunch of people. I go, all right, so refer them and I'll pay you 20%. And all of a sudden, this one person sent me like $8,000 of the business and was like, I should say no more often. This is amazing. Like, wonderful. Like, it's super awesome. All right, so we're kind of like bringing this to like a close. It's hit 40 minutes. I try to keep these like condensed and sharp. But there's always that honor special. So like, everybody get ready, get to your keyboard and stuff like that. So if you think G-Day can help you make your transition and understanding your challenge, and if like 15 minutes of conversation with G-Day about his journey and how he can help you, if you think that time can genuinely rocket ship you up through the roof, just like he's done with his own. If you're having trouble with your dentist, like your transition, your free trials going from 1K, 2K to 7K, whatever it is, I want you to leave a comment, so get ready. I want you to type G-Day help me out. And the first 3 people to leave the comment saying G-Day help me out, we'll get 3 15-minute sessions with him. I'll put you in a group chat. Y'all can figure it out. He's got an Acuity set up so you can like schedule time as necessary. So leave a comment saying G-Day help me out. We've got Christian C, who misspelled your name, but I'm going to give it to him anyway. We've got James Claiborne.
No worries, it happens.
And Jack McCarthy. So those 3 people, you're going to get dedicated 15-minute strategy session with G-Day on how he's gone from free trial $0 to 750 to 1,000 to 2,000, 7K upfront. And I think, so like, do you genuinely believe you're going to hit 100 grand this month, or is that like a stretch goal?
Okay, so this month, I definitely believe I can hit 50. My goal for the next 2.5 is to hit 100 and somewhere around 35, 40 recurring, something about that. That's my goal for myself.
Billionaire, what the shit?
I don't know about billionaire, but the guys, it's possible. It really is. It really is possible, guys. I had that light switch moment when I got that first check, and I was like, let's do this.
Let's keep doing this. Let's get more money. That's awesome. So I appreciate everybody's time. G-Day, look out for those 3 introductory messages. I'm sure the 3 people that I named, they're going to like see a lot of value. Everyone, have a great time. Thanks so much for the time, G-Day. I'm super psyched for your journey. You did a great job. See you later. Bye.